If you treat Amazon FBA like a side hustle, it will only ever produce you mediocre results. And I'm saying that as someone who was doing decent numbers, but still knew I was leaving so much on the table. Through 2024, my Amazon business was hitting around 20 to 30k sales a month, and most people would have been happy with that. But I wasn't. Sure, I was grateful, but I could feel cracks in how I was running the business. So going into 2025, I changed the way I did everything. And it wasn't just about a new product or new supplier, but the way the business actually runs from its foundations. And in this video, I'm gonna break down what I used to do that kept me busy but did not help me scale, versus what I do now to keep the business running smoother with less stress, including the systems, people, and software that give me an edge against competitors, as well as how I'm setting the business up to handle serious monthly stock spend without it taking over my life. So let's get into it. When I first started, I did everything the hard way. I was sourcing deals myself, prepping the stock myself, and doing all of the admin myself. Inventory checks, spreadsheets, chasing deliveries, sourcing, reconciling, you name it, I was doing it, all of it. And at the time, I thought that was normal. Like, if I'm not doing everything, then it won't get done and the business will just stop. But looking back, I wasn't even running a business. I was just creating myself another job. And because I was doing everything manually, my sourcing wasn't even that good. I didn't have a proper system. I never had the time to test new methods, just consistently stuck to what I already knew, which hadn't been getting me any extraordinary results anyway. I didn't even know how to avoid saturated leads properly, so I'd end up buying stuff that looked decent on paper, then when it came, it was too competitive, leading to price tanking or just slow moving that tied up my cash. I made plenty of mistakes, bought stuff that I had to take a loss on, but truth be told, that is just part of it. Every loss teaches you something, or it repeats. Eventually, I started getting better at spotting the red flags. The ones in the data when you're analysing those listings that just scream, do not put your money into this. But even when I did get better at buying, I still had a much bigger problem. I was still wasting my time on low value tasks. Most people think the secret to scaling Amazon is just finding more deals, and that matters, sure, but the bigger difference is efficiency. Because if your business is messy, you waste time, you lose money, stock gets lost, and you miss those reimbursements. And I'm speaking from experience when I say any cracks in your foundation will leak serious money from your business if you scale before fixing them. I had to stop asking myself, how do I do more work, and started asking, how can I scale this business without also scaling the problems? And the first thing was fixing those cracks in the foundations. The biggest impact was when I stopped trying to run everything and delegated the tasks in my business. I started by outsourcing sourcing. A lot of people are skeptical to do this, but it's genuinely a necessary step towards growth. I brought in virtual assistants from the Philippines, and over time I trained them on exactly what my criteria looks like, what I'll buy, what I won't buy, and what matters to me. But here's the key, the VA is only as good as their training that you give them. Most people hire someone too early, give them no structure, and then complain that VAs don't work. If you don't know how to do something yourself, how are you possibly going to train somebody else to do it? Mine, on the other hand, work because they know exactly what good deals look like. They also know exactly what to avoid, and they're incentivized properly. I pay bonuses in a way that makes them care for the business as if it's their own. And when people are motivated, they find more opportunities. Some of them earn surprisingly good money for where they live. And that's not just me being generous for the sake of it. That's me building a team that wants to win. Because if they win, I win. And instead of me spending my day hunting for deals, my team brings the opportunities to me. Now, the second big change I made in my business was with the prep. I no longer touch any stock because self-prep is one of those things that feels productive, but it's not where the money is made. It's a low value task. And at the start, it's fine. It's even kind of fun. Slap some music on and crack on with the labeling. But once those boxes start piling up, you realize you're spending your life doing work that somebody else could do for pennies. So I switched to a prep center. Now instead of me spending hours labeling and packing, my VAs order the stock, log it in on our prep sheet, it gets sent to the prep facility and it gets handled. If there's an issue, they just message me. But most of the time it runs smoothly without me even having to think about it. And that alone freed up more hours than people would ever realize, because those hours are what you use for improving sourcing, whether that's for you or your team. You can use the time for building proper, strong systems, hiring new workers, or fixing the bottlenecks that are preventing you from reaching that next level, instead of just sitting on the floor getting mad at your label printer because it just fucked up your labels for the 4th time tonight. We've all been there. Here's the part that no one really talks about. Admin is the difference between a seller doing big revenue and a seller actually keeping that profit long term. When you do scale, the risk isn't only bad buying, the risk is stuff that you don't track. For example, deliveries that don't arrive, units that go missing in prep, shipments that get received incorrectly, damaged items, lost items, returns, the list goes on. Now if you're doing any kind of volume, this stuff adds up fast and quietly. Sometimes you won't even realise if you don't have the correct systems in place to track it. Another lesson that I learned the hard way. And let me just mention, you don't have to make all these mistakes for yourself. That's what I chose to do for the longest time, and looking back, I massively regret it. Especially knowing I could have just paid for someone to teach me how to avoid these mistakes and scale my business instead of having to waste time and money trying to figure it all out by myself. I now offer mentoring myself, so feel free to head to the description of this video and apply to book onto a free call where we can see if it would be a good fit for you. No pressure, of course, but time and money is valuable. So if you can save it by learning from someone who's already accomplished what you wish to, that's a massive win. But as I was saying, I needed to have more time spent in my business on the admin side of things, except I didn't want to just create another job for myself. So I brought in an admin VA to handle things like invoice collection, reconciling the shipments, tracking the deliveries, and making sure the business does not bleed money quietly. This type of stuff is not fun to do, but it's what lets you scale without the business collapsing under its own weight, so it's necessary. Now the next big shift to scaling my business was around the tools I used. Some tools I've had for ages, some I've upgraded, but at a certain level, software is not optional, and that level is quite near the start. Software is what gives you speed, accuracy, and leverage. I still use tools to track the business and understand performance. Last year, I also began using a repricer that actually protects me from getting dragged into those races to the bottom for the price, but also allowing me to have that aggressive advantage in pricing where necessary. A lot of sellers don't even realize how much profit they lose just repricing inefficiently. And then there's profit hunting tools. I've switched over time because you want something that's simple to use, accurate, and gives you all the data you need without overcomplicating everything. The biggest improvement I made to my Amazon business was the sites and methods that I use to source my products. The ones I now use help you scan through opportunities way faster, and because not many people know about them, it's as if you're sourcing in a gold mine, untapped pocket of the market. So imagine deals that are quicker to find and also come with less competition. I'm not gatekeeping these methods entirely, but since they are more advanced and I don't want to oversaturate them, I'm keeping them exclusive to me and the members who join my advanced mentorship program. So make sure if you are interested to book onto a call and see if it's a good fit for you to join, as this alone could be that one shift that completely changes the trajectory of your business. Manual sourcing has a ceiling. You can only click through so many pages in an hour. The sellers scaling hard right now are using more unique methods to speed things up so that they can filter faster and spend money on only the best opportunities. As a whole, my Amazon FBA business didn't just level up because I found some new sourcing methods. Even if I applied them with the old foundations, I would still have lacked growth. Only when I pulled all levers covered in this video did I manage to take things to that next level. Me taking on fewer low value tasks meant less time was wasted, fewer mistakes were made, and I could focus on the missions that really move things forwards. And that is how you actually scale. And it's also how I've built the structure to handle that massive monthly stock spend. Because spending Spending more money isn't hard when you have a whole team spending 8 hours per day each just to find you products. But what is hard is managing it. If you can't manage the cash flow, inventory tracking, reimbursements, and your team inputs, then more spend just creates bigger problems for you. So everything I've described is built to make the business smoother, cleaner, and easier to run so that scaling does not feel like more chaos. If you're watching this and you're thinking, cool, but how do I actually set this up myself? Well, that's where most people get stuck, because knowing what strategies and tools exist is not the same as actually utilizing them properly in your own business. Just the same way hiring and training team members isn't an easy task. I only touched the surface in this video, but this is exactly the kind of stuff that I help people implement inside my mentorship. Learning advanced sourcing strategies to help find better deals and find them quicker. Training those VAs so they actually produce you a good return for their wage. And tracking the boring stuff that protects your profits. Basically turning Amazon from a stressful side hustle into a real scalable business. So if you want to learn more, like I've said, head to the link in the description to apply for that free call with me. And either way, if this video has helped you, drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.